Todo bien. Está acatado.
Sí, señor.
Done in any such fashion. It's foolishness, I tell you. And you're fools if you think you can take the law into your own hands.
If you're scared, say so. But don't call us fools.
Listen, let's wait till we know what we're doing. Let's have reason. We've got our rights guaranteed to us.
By who? By that double-crossing Mexican President Santa Anna? I'm getting mighty sick of losing neighbors in the dead of night, and the next thing you know, they're stuck in some stinking Mexican jail.
Better lower our voices. Mexicans got listeners all around us.
They've arrested Mr. Travis. Took him over to the military commander's place. 7 cavalrymen.
You see? I've been telling you. You're fools.
I told you not to call us fools anymore.
Let's show 'em.
I'd like you to let him be for a moment. Seems to me a man has a right to say what he thinks. I'd like to hear more.
Who are you?
I'm Jim Bowie.
Thank you, sir. If a man makes a living selling perfectly legitimate merchandise, they think he's a traitor. They won't listen to sense. I'm a businessman, therefore suspect.
Of what?
I'll say good day. Thank you again.
Mr. Bowie, I'm Jeb Lacey.
How are you?
I'd like to say it's a pleasure to meet you, sir.
It is, huh?
Perhaps I could tell you anything you'd like to know.
All right, tell me.
What, sir?
Well, what's going on? Why there's nobody on the street? The place is locked up tight. Everybody in here are one mind.
Well, I don't understand everything it's about, sir, but our people need a better deal from the Mexicans. They've been treating us like we had no rights at all. Mr. William Travis, he's a lawyer from South Carolina. Real bright, knows the law good. Well, Mr. Travis has been kind of our spokesman. I guess he talked too loud because the military commander arrested him.
Juan Bradburn, that'd be.
You know him?
Sort of. Without knowing much more about it, I'm inclined to be on lawyer Travis' side.
Sure.
Watch that. Just keep walking.
But, senor,
I know exactly where you're going. You'll be pleased to know I'm going right along with you.
¿Qué pasa?
Senor Bowie.
Jim Bowie, what are you doing?
Came to do you a favor, Colonel. Brought you a little present, too. He's not very pretty and he doesn't smell too good, but he's yours, all yours.
What would I want with him, a man I never saw in my life before?
Juan, I've known you for a long time. Long before you were a big, important military governor. And I know how you operate.
I do not operate with stupid idiots. We're so obvious they get themselves in trouble.
Seems to me you're in a little trouble yourself.
Me?
How would you like it if Santa Anna heard that you couldn't manage your own province? If the Texians were getting hot under the collar because you'd been playing too rough with them? That you planted spies all around them? That you made a mistake that a child wouldn't make? Arresting that lawyer Travis. Sending him to Mexico City tomorrow.
He's a revolutionary, a traitor. A big talker who stirred up the people. President Santa Anna would be pleased.
Nah, not when he hears it the way I'll tell him.
What is it you can suggest I do?
I'll give you back your agent
I do not want that bumbling jackass.
I'll give you back your agent. If you don't take him, I'll turn him over to the Texians. And that wouldn't be good for you, Colonel.
In return, what must I give to you?
Travis.
And that is why I thank you for coming. Whatever else we determine here tonight, the first order for decision is how we shall inhibit Juan Bradburn from sending William Travis to the dungeons
That
of
won't be
Mexico.
necessary. I've brought my rescuer with me.
Senor Travis, what a pleasure to see you free again. Senor Bowie, I did not know you were in Anahuac.
Glad to see you, Senor de Quesada.
What is this Senor Travis says about his rescue?
I still don't know what happened. Bradburn came to me with Jim Bowie and said a mistake had been made.
Oh, Juan Bradburn. He's a very impetuous man.
I kind of told him that myself.
Hello, Jim.
Gentlemen, an old friend, James Bowie, one of our biggest landowners and a friend of all Texians. Senor Redden.
Senor? I know most of these men. I don't want to interfere. I'll just take a seat if I may.
Gentlemen, please. To those of you who do not know me well, and who may wonder why I have thrown in my lot with you colonists, I would like to say that I have received reports, deeply troubling reports from my people, my relatives in Mexico, that the Presidente General Santana is moving quickly towards despotic powers. And we, my people, do not wish to return to any form of despotism, either here in Texas or in any other part of Mexico. And now, Senor Travis.
Gentlemen, 4 months ago, this group sent to Mexico City our good friend, Mr. Stephen Austin, with a petition stating our requests for certain governmental reforms. Mr. Austin was shortly thrown into a military prison for, they say, writing a letter advising us that only the strongest measures could secure justice under Santa Anna. I, for one, agree wholeheartedly with the sentiments of Mr. Austin, who is still rotting in a dungeon in Mexico City. I say to you now that the only course left open to us is to show the military authorities that we will not passively submit to injustice. I say to you it's time for us to stand on our feet, to demand what is our right, to take whatever steps are necessary to make those demands felt, to create a militia if need be, to fight if we must. Gentlemen, Senor, I have the feeling you don't agree with me.
Senor Travis, we have identical interests, but I am Mexicano of pure Spanish heritage, and I know the temper of my people, their pride, their very deep pride. And though I am fearful of Santa Anna's motives, I could never counsel the people of Texas to take any action which could cause a break in the friendship of the Mexican people themselves. There are thousands of miles that separate us, and we have not yet certain proof that the President Santa Anna has become everything his political opponents say he has. If you ask my opinion, I would say, let us proceed, but with care, with caution.
I quite agree with you, Senor.
I'd like to hear from Mr. Bowie.
I don't think I have anything to say. I just came to listen.
It appears I don't have your confidence either.
Isn't Mr. Bowie a Mexican citizen?
That's right. I'm married to a lovely Spanish lady. As the senor has told you, I've acquired a few acres of land. I've even fought alongside the Mexicans. My wife and I have a lovely home in Mexico. I'm on my way there now.
I'm sorry. Am I interrupting?
I think, my dear, you are just in time. Gentlemen, I have the honor, my niece, Senorita de Quesada.
Senorita.
Thank you.
My pleasure, senorita.
Bill, as for me, I'm inclined to agree with you.
I think it's necessary for every man here to say where he stands. Forgive me, Mr. Bowie, if I insist.
I don't have any exact stand yet, Mr. Travis. Don't know enough about it. I'm just on my way home to Monclova, Coahuila, Mexico, to see my wife and children. Figure I'll learn a little more about it as time goes on.
From your father-in-law, the lieutenant governor of Coahuila, Mexico?
That's right.
It seems strange to me that the two men with the most to lose in the event of trouble, with the most to gain from Santa Anna's friendship, the two men with the largest land holdings in Texas and Mexico, these are the two men that urge caution. Why?
My apologies to you, Senor de Quesada. Myself, I excuse the young lawyer. From what I've seen, most lawyers have the notion they can say anything they like. Get used to it in the courtroom, I expect. The trouble with you, Travis, is that you haven't lived long enough or had enough experience to know what you're talking about. Had I known this before, I'm not so sure you'd be here now. Senor, gentlemen, in the interest of what you're trying to accomplish, I'll remove some of the young lawyer's difficulty. Buenas noches.
Senor Bowie. Please, senor, I must speak with you.
Well, you shouldn't be out here alone.
I'm not, senor. Maria is here.
Well, don't be frightened.
No, but I have to tell you. Many of the men stayed late. I went to my room, but I couldn't sleep. The entrance to the house is next to my room. Two men stopped to speak. They are your enemies, senor. They were talking that it would be well if you didn't go to Monclova. I don't know who they were, Senor Bowie, but they said they were coming to the inn to stop you.
It was not Travis.
No, I would have known his voice.
Did you hear anything else?
No, I couldn't hear all the words. Just enough to understand what I've told you.
Well, thank you, Senorita. It's time for you to go.
You don't remember me?
No.
San Antonio.
Well, I haven't been in San Antonio for almost a year.
I've seen you many times there. Once I met your wife. She's very beautiful.
Thank you. She is.
May I ask,
Yeah?
why did you allow my uncle and yourself to be insulted? I thought no one talked so to Senor Bowie.
I should have killed him?
Yes.
How old are you?
18. Almost.
17. When I was 17, I thought I knew everything. It's not so simple now.
Please don't laugh at me.
No man is ever going to laugh at you. They'll smile a little, perhaps, with wonder. They won't laugh. What is your name?
Consuelo.
Consuelo. Consuelo, remember this. An insult is something that happens when men become aroused. And one of them can't stop. He boils over and the words come spilling out. So you kill him. And you walk outside. For a few minutes, maybe you feel good. Then you look up at the stars. Out across at the horizon with the dawn coming up. And suddenly you realize that it's a big world. And that nothing has changed. Somewhere there's a woman without a man and maybe children without a father. All because of a few hot words. Does that make sense to you, Consuelo?
I don't know. I never thought you would say this.
I didn't think I would either. Now it's almost dawn. Time for you to go back. Looking for me?
Our friend Bowie. And in a hurry to be off.
That's right.
You know, some of the men were talking about it. Didn't seem to like the idea. They were kind of in a mix about your politics. They felt you shouldn't be allowed to leave.
Those men include you, Mike? Mike Radden. Well-known name.
Is it now? I've heard about you too, Bowie. What a great fighter you are.
I've been lucky.
No, that's not what they say. They say you're a real terror. You know, I've heard so many stories about you lately. They've begun to annoy me considerable. You understand?
Go on.
I've been thinking all evening, sitting there at the meeting. I'd best get it out of my system. Swallow it or throw it up, you understand?
I'm beginning to.
So now on this happy occasion we meet, I'd greatly appreciate seeing who's best.
You're a legend, Mike. Known all over the Bayou country. Mike the Bull.
Mike the Bull and Jim Bowie. Would it be a fight to remember? You'll oblige me?
Why?
I can kill you, Bowie.
Wouldn't want you to.
Oh, you're a weasel. They say you're good with a knife. Well, so am I. Just you and me, huh?
Put your guns down one at a time.
Remember, it's him and me. Come along, lads.
All right, get him to a doctor. He's hurt bad. Come back and get your guns later.
You're a good man, Bowie.
Gracias a Dios. I'm sorry, senor.
It's all right. You run along.
Buenos días, señor.
Ah, gracias. ¿Qué pasa?
¿Qué, señor?
¿Por qué se persigna?
Solo por el amor de Dios, señor.
Alto! Senor Bowie, welcome home.
That's very kind of you, Lieutenant.
I have the honor of bringing you the compliments of His Excellency the President, General Antonio Lopez de Santana. His Excellency is in summer residence in the town and desires Senor Bowie to wait on him immediately upon his arrival.
Highly flattered.
A distinct honor, senor.
Just as soon as I've returned to my estate and greeted my wife.
But you are to come now, senor.
Sorry, I'm going home. Adios.
Dispare el caballo. Arréstalo.
¡Presenten armas!
Answer?
Your Excellency, as much as we regret the necessity, we find it is not possible for us to disregard the constitutional law. This state, the state of Coahuila, must retain its legislature.
Very well. And you will be prepared to assume the consequences? I will be alone with General Cos. What will you do? Take great pleasure in personally padlocking the legislative doors at the right time. Meanwhile, let them stew. Well, let us get up.
Your Excellency! Your Excellency!
Go away, all of you. Well, Jimmy, what is... Oh, you know my brother-in-law, General Cos?
Some other time.
If you will, your room. Jimmy, can't you think of my dignity?
I thought about it. With my nose in the dust of the road. Was it your order to shoot my horse and bring me here by force?
Who did this to you?
That idiot officer of yours.
It is true I am served by fools. My apologies. You will forgive me? No?
I'll think about it.
Good. And while you think, we will drink. Come, sit down. Only the very best for my friend Bowie. Vintage of 1817. You have served with me in how many campaigns? You have been my... How is it now you question me?
A man takes a drink, you can usually smell it on his breath.
And I have been taking a drink of what?
Power, maybe.
Power?
Smells that way.
You are the only man in the world I would allow to talk to me like this.
That's what I mean.
Who are these Texians? These colonists who think they can dictate to the government of Mexico? And who is this lawyer, this Travis, who sets himself above the military governor? I think Travis and his friends are all traitors. They should be stood against the barracks wall and shot.
Your governor is making a lot of mistakes.
Bradburn, he is a fool.
Well, they can't all be fools. Who's the fool responsible for throwing Stephen Austin in jail in Mexico City and keeping him there?
Austin is a conspirator.
He came to you with a petition. Seems sensible. People nowadays just don't take to one-man rule. At least there are a lot of people back in Texas who don't. Now, I'm not in the habit of offering advice.
You have my permission.
Thank you. Because I have a good deal of respect for you. Liking, too.
Thank you.
I just want to say one thing to you. Most people are a good deal like I am. And you could never make me follow you by force.
Don't talk to me like a frontiersman. You are an educated man. Say what you mean.
Constitutional government. Return to the Constitution of 1824. A complete renunciation of any despotic appetites you might have acquired. And release Stephen Austin. The Texians will never have any faith in you as long as you hold him.
I have only love for my country. I think I have demonstrated that many times. Possibly I have been misunderstood. But I thank you, Jimmy, for being frank. I have great admiration for you. I have loved you as a brother. I must be sure you are not against me, that I have not turned you. I say in all honesty that you would be a great rallying point for any faction that gained your support. And I do not wish to see civil war come again. We have had too many wars. We need peace and prosperity. That is my aim, my ultimate aim.
Sounds good.
You have revealed much to me. I do not wish to be a dictator, a tyrant. I want to be a gracious page in history. I must consider what you have said. I must reevaluate. I thank you again. Let us drink to it. We have no quarrel, my friend. To our country and to us.
In that order.
Don't go yet, Jimmy. Now I must hurt you. The officer who brought you was obeying my orders to bring you here under armed guard if necessary, but not for the talk we have just had. I thought it would be less painful if you heard from your friend the worst news one man can bring to another.
What are you talking about?
The irony, my friend, is that you sent your family here to avoid the plague in Texas. Unfortunately, the plague sometimes travels faster. When I arrived here, I thought to visit your wife, Donna Ursula. Before I started out, word was brought me that your wife and beautiful children, they are no more. I have made the